Pittsburgh Steelers will travel to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs in one of the most intriguing matchups in NFL Week 6. We've identified several players to target and fade on Dober Fantasy play cards for this matchup of potential playoff teams. There's no sugarcoating the fact that Ben Roethlisberger has been a disaster so far in 2017. Though he has tremendous receivers, Big Ben is averaging just 258 yards per game and has thrown 6 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Coming off a disastrous 5-interception home effort against the Jaguars, it's certainly counterintuitive to target him in Dober fantasy games this week. But that is exactly what we are doing. Kansas City's highly respected defense has been an absolute turnstile this year. The Chiefs do not have the speed in the secondary to keep up with Antonio Brown and Martavis Bryant, and we expect both of them to get loose for big plays in this matchup. In his last 12 regular season games, Jesse James has eclipsed 7.0 Dober fantasy points just once. Unless he's scoring touchdowns, he doesn't provide much fantasy production, and James hasn't scored since week 1 against the Cleveland Browns. The Chiefs have some of the best linebackers in football and have yet to give up a touchdown to a tight end this season. Fade James until his projected fantasy point total regresses to a more reasonable number. You don't need to tell us that Kareem Hunt has been one of the best players in fantasy football through 5 games. While he is cooled off after a blistering start to the season, this is a mouth-watering matchup for the rookie. The Steelers have given up 683 rushing yards, which is the 5th most in the NFL. They've also allowed 6 touchdowns on the ground, including 2 to Leonard Fournette in Week 5. Andy Reid would love nothing more than to give the ball to Hunt 30-something times on Sunday. 5 games into the season, and Tyreek Hill is exactly who we thought he was. Hill has the game-breaking agility and speed to take any play to the house. However, he struggles to get open on short and intermediate routes, and he doesn't really profile as a number 1 receiver. This will be a tough matchup for him as Pittsburgh has given up just 3 passing touchdowns in 2017. With Chris Conley out for the season and Travis Kelce potentially out with a concussion, the Steelers' secondary will be blanketing Hill no matter where he lines up in the formation. So we wouldn't bet on Hill getting into the end zone this weekend.